Hello, friends. How are you? Are you feeling well? We are here again with a new video. This week's topics continue with deep background analysis. We keep examining those political issues happening worldwide. In our global analysis this week, our topics are the gradual end of office systems worldwide, the fact that globally funded foundations and associations are now giving information to states. We will touch upon the tension between the Armenian Church and Pashinyan, forest fires continuing all over the world, peace scenarios in the Ukraine-Russia war, the India-China Middle Corridor competition, sociological transformation, and human-technology relations. And finally, as a leadership analysis, how we can follow and read the world effectively. First, let me talk about office systems. As you know, in the 20th century, the way of working worldwide was shaped by offices. People spent time in offices and the factories below them. But now, white-collar work is gradually transforming. Its transformation is slowing down. During the pandemic, the world became a complete test field, and when no one expected it, when it wasn't even on the agenda, suddenly remote work or partial work became a reality. We were locked in our homes, we tried to do at least part, maybe all, of our office work remotely, and this entered our lives permanently. Now, this will gradually become the norm. The classic office system is disappearing. For example, an accountant doing paperwork, about 80% of data entry jobs are expected to become fully automated within the next 10 years. An accountant receives invoices, enters them into the system. This task will slowly disappear from the global work system. It doesn't matter what data is being entered. The people who build and manage the system will remain. If you can manage, direct, and strategize correctly at work, okay. But if you're just entering data, feeding information into systems, and producing a report at the end, such jobs will gradually disappear. I think people need to leave a mark in their employer's memory, because leadership thinking is needed, managing relationships, smart system thinking. These people will remain. Now, I don't want to go too deep into the Lemon magazine issue, but this was an event in Turkey. There is a magazine called Lemon. It is known for its oppositional stance, but it is not just that. Turkey is an Islamic country. Its people are Muslim, and the management of this magazine does not want to accept or reflect this Islamic stance. Here is an example. Before I moved to other countries, recently in Turkey, Lehman magazine drew a cartoon about the Israel-Palestine war. On one side, Prophet Moses. On the other side, Prophet Muhammad. They depicted both in a mocking way, almost like the Charlie Hebdo incident in France. When this happened, the state intervened. All magazines were confiscated. There were raids. It was shut down. Writers and owners were arrested, or attempts were made to arrest them. This issue is ongoing, and the magazine has been completely shut down. What I want to say is this. In recent months, there was a movement in Georgia. People rose up, demanding the resignation of their prime minister and president. Why did this happen? I'm not talking about the visible reason, but the deep reason. Georgia passed a law stating if media outlets, associations, and foundations receive foreign funding, they must declare it to the Georgian state. From that moment, all European countries reacted. The EU made many statements. Freedom democracy, the usual fairy tales, democracy, human rights, but actually the real reason is clear. People are provoked, as if this is something else. Now, what happened last week? In the UK, a new bill was prepared and is being presented to Parliament. What is it about? You guessed right. Association, foundations, media funded from abroad will be required to declare these funds to the government. Isn't that interesting? Freedom of expression, another fairy tale. Yes, the UK will pass this, I'm sure. Why did I tell the Turkey example especially? Because there are two reasons for such actions. Either people are incompetent and do not know their own people, or they are funded from abroad. Foreign funding is never done directly to personal bank accounts. It is done indirectly, given to contact relatives, or in cash. This continues everywhere. Georgia passed it. The EU does not want to lose control there, but the UK is doing the same. In America, you already cannot do this. Yes, the tension between Pashinyan and the Armenian church continues in the background. The church is originally under Russian influence. Pashinyan, on the other hand, wants to make peace with Turkey, the EU, and Azerbaijan to build new trade. For 100 years, Armenians were promised a dream. All lands are yours. We will establish Greater Armenia. Same as Israel. We will establish Greater Israel. Same logic, same ideology, same indoctrination from childhood. Pashinyan wants this peace, but Russia does not. Russia wants Armenia to remain under its influence. Therefore, the balance is still being maintained. Both the West and Russia say, I will rule Armenia. For Turkey and Azerbaijan, they want a pragmatic deal. You win. We win. Armenians have been deceived with big dreams for 100 years. But what happened? They have lived in poverty for 100 years and continue to live so. They no longer want to live in darkness for another century. So, balances are still being set. Armenia wants trade and development, but Pashinyan may become a target because of this. There may be an assassination attempt. We will see. About forest fires. Forests are burning all over the world. Especially in America. This was not so intense before. Suddenly fires break out in the same places. You may have seen many videos, real videos, where a fire suddenly starts in a field or forest. When we research, very different reasons appear. I think as many are deliberate. They are not all natural disasters. I believe these are strategic operations. They may have various purposes. Sometimes lands are cleared for grabbing. Don't think only about hotels being built. Maybe a neighborhood. Maybe an elite residential area. Separated from people. Second purpose, scaring people for psychological submission. Globalists keep playing with climate issues. Climate. 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 They say, people get scared, and then all countries act accordingly. And finally, testing satellite and laser systems, AARP technologies. Fires can be created anywhere on Earth with satellite targeting, not only satellites. Aircraft now have such systems. These are electronic warfare systems. With such technology, a fire can be started anywhere. These tests are being done. Don't think of fires only as flames. They can be seen as new generation warfare methods. Imagine. You can set any place on fire. Fields, cities, anything. It is a very detailed topic. I will cover it separately. States know such fires can be created, but they either remain silent or become partners because they can do nothing, or they want to turn it to their advantage. That's why fires happen, are created, and the process is managed. In Turkey, there's the PKK issue, also ISIS. PKK, PYD, ISIS, they all seem like enemies, but are created by the same hand. Globalists want them there, so they can intervene with soldiers, saying you are fighting, we will help. Meanwhile, oil owners extract oil safely, sell it to the world, or bring it to their countries. This is an alliance between nationalists and globalists. But now, nationalists want to withdraw. About Ukraine, Russia. Russia has made statements that next year it will reduce military spending. France and European countries no longer want to supply weapons to Ukraine because missile stocks are running low. Germany says secretly it will continue, but protests are rising. Actually, Russia did not start this war. Ukraine forced Russia into war. Why? To drag Russia in, incite its people against Putin, break Russia into pieces, install a puppet government serving Europe. That was the plan. But now, Western weapon stocks are low. Peace is being discussed. Ukraine's manpower is greatly reduced. Russia is also economically worn down. But Ukraine is in a worse situation. Russia will not end this without winning. This is not just a land war. It is an existential, civilizational war. Who will stand where? In the new century. Why did Russia start it? Because NATO was advancing to its borders, despite promises. Russia said enough. Unfortunately, Ukrainians are suffering. I think the fire of war will slowly fade, but Russia will attack stronger again. How much longer can Ukraine endure? About India and the Middle Corridor. India, Israel, Egypt, Greece want a trade route called the IMEC project to bypass China's Belt Road. But is it possible? Number India lacks production. It is dependent on foreign technology. China has made deals with Malaysia, Bangladesh, Philippines, Jakarta, Central Asian Turkic states, Turkey, strengthening its belt and road. The Middle Corridor will be a conflict area in the next 10 years because the US globalists do not want it. There will be conflicts there. But countries in the Middle Corridor will insist, including the possible assassination attempt on Pashinyan. This is part of these blackmail games. Friends about sociological transformation. In the past, technology served people. Now, people serve technology. In previous centuries, technology made life easier. For example, cars made transportation easier. Machines increased production and comfort. But now, technology enslaves humans. People are dependent on AI. Social relations are collapsing. Social control is starting. Religion, family, social bonds are weakening. This is exactly what globalists want. As I said earlier, in the new century, people will no longer be served by technology. They will serve technology. For example, Instagram, TikTok, we scroll endlessly, but all data serves them to know us, direct us. Use propaganda. No one tells this to the public. Because if people understand this, the system collapses. If people wake up, they rise. So, from childhood, even babyhood, people are being turned into slaves. They become feeders to teachers, slaves to technology. Finally, friends, we are still at the beginning of our channel. We will grow in the future. I'm trying to explain things to you. Maybe I speak softly, but in time, our channel will mature. When analyzing, Always check. Who meets whom, where, and when. If you track presidents, prime ministers, foreign minister, intelligence chiefs, who meets whom on the same day or one day apart, you will understand many things. This is higher mind reading. Shows who moves the chess pieces. For example, Russia's president meets Turkey's president. On the same day, the US Secretary of State meets Iran's foreign minister, or calls them. Connections are important. In the current century, technology advances. People robotize, people regress. Technology progresses. What if one day they say, we don't need you anymore? Countries wage wars over ports, trade routes. But actually, souls are fighting. People still think countries fight countries. No. They fight over how people will be ruled, how enslaved they will be. Leaders know this. They tell the public something else. In the new century, how people will live, be ruled, how rich or poor, how enslaved, that balance is being set. All wars and conflicts today are about this. Some try to overturn the chessboard. Some try to play it. Some try to reset it. I always say, when the curtain rises suddenly, will people understand? But it will be too late. That's why I try to tell you things on this channel. I prepared a 15-page PDF called New World Order Preparation Guide. It is for sale on Etsy under our Hidden Future Code channel. It explains clearly what is coming in the new centuries and how to prepare from today. Those who want can purchase it from Etsy.com via our Hidden Future Code channel. Thank you, friends. We will continue in the coming times.